just a quick little update on where we are in our Stanley Cup date. There it is again. We're back. So right now, the Rangers and the Carolina Hurricanes, they are playing as we speak right now. The Rangers are up 3-1 in that series. The Rangers are up 1-0 in the it's second intermission right now, so they're about to start the third period. And so if the Rangers hold on to win, that series is done. Uh Later today, Dallas and Colorado take
That's been
they'll
the se
play.
that's been
Yeah.
the series that's been fun to watch. That's
Mhm.
what I've been
Yeah,
watching.
Joe Pavelski woke up a little bit there, so that
Yeah.
was fun. Um, right now, Dallas is up 2-1. They have a chance to take a stranglehold on that series as well. Tomorrow, you have the Panthers and the Bruins. That one has been a nasty series.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah.
anger, a lot of
Yeah.
violence there, a lot of chippiness. It's been
Well, they had that
if you
viral whiff.
yeah.
Yeah, the hit the the
The hit that
miss
almost
The
hit.
dude
the
went for the
miss of
massive.
the year, dude.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
killed the guy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so Florida can win the series tomorrow. They're up 3-1. And then Vancouver and Edmonton, they're playing. Vancouver is up 2-1 on Edmonton. We'll see how that shakes up. They did just get somebody suspended. I can't remember who for the late hit on Connor McDavid. It was basically as the game was ending, McDavid took a cross check to the face. So that's not allowed, and so that player got suspended. So we'll see what happens there. Maybe that's the wake up Edmonton needed because right now they're in trouble. If they don't win tomorrow, they're they're not officially done, but they're effectively done because coming back from 3-1 in hockey is real tough. It is real fucking tough. Does not happen often. So
I'm not even going to touch that one with a 30-foot pole.
yeah.
Um, I just think that the Oilers and Boston always finds a way to screw something up in their playoffs. It just it's unfortunate to be a fan base of that because it happens so often to them, And I think
Who are
honestly
we to
that
talk?
Boston series should be 2-2 right now, and Boston's let some slip.
Hmm.
So I would
Absolutely.
argue too that the Rangers series should probably be 2-2. I mean, there's been some last minute goals. The Rangers had that overtime goal, and it just was a little lame squeaking on the side there. So
Yeah, yeah, some bad angle shots, gets through, and there you go, there's your game.
yeah,
Uh, so I think it's time to move on to the next graphic. You may have figured it out from the of what this
Oh
episode is called.
boy.
So we basically got 2 graphics, back to back, but let's throw the first one up there. Uh, the Sharks get the number 1 overall draft pick. They
It's
win the
huge.
draft lottery. This is what the Sharks put on Instagram, when it happened. You got the number 1 with the shark,
Yes.
biting the number 1. I love it. It's amazing. It's perfect, and they also made a Taylor Swift reference because, what they wrote was a screaming, crying, throwing up, and that's something in the Swifty community. That's ours. It's not yours. Like yourself, you can try to use it. Anyway, all right. But no, that was so that this is very exciting. I just wanted to show that. Let's go ahead and move on to the actual draft lottery results now, Tim. So this is actually the first time since 2010 where nobody moved at all. Everybody lined up exactly where they are supposed to be like picking at the end of the season. No changes. Nobody moved up. The Sharks end up keeping Pittsburgh's first round pick, which is number 14. Uh yeah, like I said, it's the first time since 2010 where the draft order remained unchanged. And uh it does not happen. I think it maybe happened one other time since they put the draft lottery in place. Like it does not happen. Somebody always moves, except
Right.
this year, thankfully. I was watching it live, and when it got down to Chicago and San Jose, I was like, "Don't you fucking do this to me! Don't you
I would have been
fucking dare!"
so mad if
I
they
would,
got back
like,
to back first picks. I
I
think
would have
people would have
set.
been like, we need to change
But
how
I
this
thought
draft
there's a
works.
rule that you can't have the number 1 overall pick twice in 5 years.
Well, no, you can't. You can win twice in 5 years. You can't win more than twice. So they couldn't win it a third time.
Oh. Oh.
So
But
that's yeah.
that didn't
So that
happen. So
yeah, it didn't happen. So the Sharks are going to be picking
Celebrini.
Macklin
It's
Celebrini.
Celebrini. Yeah.
He's coming home. His dad is Rick, and Rick works for the Warriors. He's the director of strength and conditioning. So the draft is
It,
going to
it,
take place at the end of June in the Sphere in Las Vegas, and
yeah.
SAP Center is going to have a little watch party as well. So that'll be fun if you can get out there at 3 p.m. in
There's
to
already
San Jose on a
photos,
Friday.
Vince. There's already the photos coming out of Macklin Celebrini and Junior Sharks,
Oh
like
yeah,
from
yeah,
his Junior Sharks
yeah. He
days,
was a young
and
teen. Yeah,
he has I want to say it was a like high school amateur teammate that is also potentially going in the first round, and he could be a target for the Sharks at number 14.
right.
So I did see some podcasts about that.
Mhm.
Um, so the Sharks are in a good spot with the draft, the
They've
players they already
yeah.
have,
Mhm,
future draft picks.
mhm.
Like
This year they're getting
they're the
uh
OKC of hockey.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, they did a lot of work to get a lot of high draft picks. They have 2 second rounders, they have 2 first rounders this year. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see that. They're going to get the last pick in the second round is 42 for them. So they're going to like that number's high, and they got their own like 33 as well. So and there's going to be some players that get picked early, like teams reach for certain players at certain points. So I'm looking at it as you're getting 4 top 35 ish prospects, like according to your board,
Yeah,
how you have it top. Yeah, you're looking at that's going to be amazing. That's
I
great. That's
heard
the
this.
exact kind of infusion you've been waiting for. Why
I
you
read that
tanked it
this.
so hard? Yeah, go
I
ahead.
read that this draft is loaded with like really good defensemen.
They're like
Like
the
they're
top
loaded.
like the top like 6 or 7 players are probably
Yeah,
going to be like defensemen and like maybe one forward in the mix. Like
right.
that's how many
Celebrini's the one
defensemen.
forward. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. There's a lot of there'll probably be another one that sneaks in there in the top 7,
And
but
we're gonna
like
find out. We're probably gonna find out some news about Will Smith in the next week or two.
So he's currently, I don't know if that's in the document. If it is, I apologize. I'm
uh,
jumping ahead here, but he's currently playing for Team USA, and it's not looking good right now. He currently is sitting on the bench -1 as far as points go for individual play. I honestly think like I don't want him to go back to college and if he wants to because he wants to pursue some kind of scholastic thing, sure, that's fine. The reason why I don't want to go back to college is because the level of play and the speed of play compared to pro level, it doesn't have to be NHL. It could be, CHL, it could be in Europe. It is so drastically different that I think he truly needs that. And I think that him going back to Boston College, is it Boston College? Boston, yeah, Boston College. I
for
don't
Will Smith,
think
yeah.
yeah, I don't think it's going to do anything to help him to be more further along in his
Right.
development. I think he needs to come and play pro. And watching him in this national, format, it's kind of making me think, okay, he's 19 years old. He's a year out, man. He really is a year out from potentially sniffing and playing with the big guys with the Sharks. So
He needs to grow into that man body.
yeah, yeah, and I,
And that's the same with Macklin Celebrini is
exactly.
you know
He's
in
17 right now.
Mhm.
Like
comparison to Bedard, who came out last year. I
Yeah,
mean that's a much bigger human being. He's just a fuller human being when he came out. When you see him, and now that's been the number one thing that they talk about against the two number one picks is that Celebrini is going to take 4, 5, 6 years to like truly fill out. He's still going to be a skillful player. He's if he comes out to the Sharks right now and signs, like he has the option to stay in college, do whatever he wants. But if he came out right now, he's with the big team. Like he's
yeah.
he's
yeah,
he's there.
he's making the
Uh,
opening day roster.
absolutely. I just think going forward, having Celebrini, Will Smith, Eklund, Musty, and you got a bunch of other young guys that are knocking on the door in this draft and future draft. How does this team like It looks really good. It looks really
On
promising,
paper, it's very promising,
and
especially in like 2 or 3 years. Like
Yeah.
and
you got to
Greer
get a
has
new
done
coach
a
too.
really good job. There's really not a lot of bad contracts here, right? Like,
Yeah, the bad contracts are
that's
gone.
gone.
Yeah.
So this year, next year, years to come, you're gonna have the space to obtain talent. You're gonna have the space to retain talent. You're gonna have that ability of adding to the roster, which is huge. They were crippled, because they were always going, as you say, Vince, they were always going big game hunting every single year. They were always trying to add something, which was great. That was a hell of a ride. It was always fun.
Mhm.
The Sharks were always in on it, and that's
17 of
great.
19 years in the playoffs. That's a
That's
long time.
great.
Lots of sustained
But
success. Didn't
the
end up.
foundation broke,
Yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
and this is kind of a restoration period, I think, of the San Jose Sharks, and it's exciting. I'm excited. This is I think a watershed moment for people I've always enjoyed the Sharks. I always liked the Sharks, but it's like it's an onboarding point where you're really not quite sure. You get on a team when they suck. That's the best. Is when they go from worst to first, and you're like, I was here during the dog days.
Mhm.
So I'm
Yeah.
excited. I'm excited, and I can't wait to see it, man. I hope Will Smith and Celebrini sign because I just want to be greedy and see them in real life.
Yeah.
I promise you,
Real life.
ownership wants to see them too because they would love to start, selling some merchandise and having the players there, and
Dude, the
it would really
Warriors are gonna
help
be
out.
there. I mean, Draymond went and watched Celebrini in Chicago, and
Mhm.
Yeah,
they had to get all this security in. It's like, what are you doing in Chicago?
yeah.
Yeah. Uh, this is going to be an excellent opportunity for
But
marketing and everything as
Oh,
well.
absolutely.
my
So, yeah.
only my only question mark going into the season is who the hell is going to coach this team? That's my only
Very
question
Yeah,
good
I
mark.
don't.
question.
Well, they're
Uh,
starting to
yeah.
interview guys, is what
Yeah,
I.
at least they're interviewing now instead of waiting till the very like
Yeah,
they were
the the,
waiting
the
for
day of
Mike
the
Grier to be
draft.
hired. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, when Mike Grier got hired, he was like hired with like a week and a half before the draft or something like that.
It's crazy.
This is going to be good for him to actually hire a coach with basically the full roster open, like of coaches. There's
absolutely.
basically 37, 38 guys that keep getting head coaching jobs,
Yeah,
and there's 32 spots, right? So I
Right.
mean, so a lot of these guys keep shuffling in and out, and a bunch of different retreads happening. Maybe the Sharks get brave and they try somebody new. Maybe they go for a retread. I don't know. Um, I don't know what GM Mike Greer is thinking as far as that goes, but they've already started the interview process.
I
So
also think too it really depends on Will Smith and Celebrini where they're going. I think that also determines who they hire as a coach. They probably have a couple names circled, but
I
maybe a
saw
veteran coach doesn't want to coach a team that doesn't have all the top players that it's supposed to have.
I saw some Sharks fans throwing out a reunion with, was it Todd McClellan?
yeah, Todd McClellan.
I
I mean,
saw.
that's definitely a name that I've heard before. He just got the short end of the stick in Los Angeles earlier this year.
Yeah,
But yeah, he's a good coach. Obviously, he led the Sharks to the President's Trophy in 2009.
yeah. I
So that was like he's definitely capable, and he's familiar with the Sharks as an organization, and he's familiar with Mike Greer because Mike Greer was one of his players. So I mean, it could end up being that like that's how a lot of these retreads keep happening because
Yeah,
it's like, oh, I know that guy, but I'm comfortable with that guy. Let me bring him onto my squad.
But he's a
That's how a
guy
lot
who's
of this
won
happens.
before, so I think that
Yeah.
means a lot too, is like having a. I don't know if I would go with a rookie head coach or a young head coach with this team. I would just be nervous about a rookie head coach leading my star players, my top two
yeah.
draft picks.
I'm with you. I want to
Right.
teach good habits, not bad habits.
Exactly.
So I agree.
I feel like year 4, year 5, you can then take the shot on the hot young hockey coach
Yeah,
when
Yeah.
when the baseline is established.
yeah,
I
I
I, I
agree.
hear you on that, but I mean, if you shoot young and it works, oh my god, does it work?
Yeah,
Like so
sure.
if you try something great, something new, and it does work out, like that's really exciting as well for the fan base. So,
Yeah.
and maybe it accelerates the timeline a little bit, and that's what Macklin Celebrini is. He's a timeline accelerant for the rebuild. So
Vince is wanting what we all want. He wants a Warriors coaching situation. You know, the guy that trains them up, and then we bring the wily old coach in here that gets them over the top. That's what we want here.
we'll
The
see.
Steve Kerr.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Steve
hoping to hire Steve right now.
coaching hockey now.
Yeah. That's right.